Hello, welcome to the Are You Righteous channel. My name is Erica. I want to start off by saying that I began speaking my mind openly more so this past year, and to my surprise, it's not that I get negative feedback, but I guess a lot of mind with what's going on like around the world. I have come to a place of contentment in the sense that they've accepted evil's doings on earth, and there's a lot in the Bible that kind of already explains and foresees what's happening today, and just as it did back then, and with the kingdoms of Babylon and Persia and Greece and Rome. So I guess a lot of people are like, well, the world's just going to come to an end and that's just what's going to happen, so there's nothing we could do about it. But I feel like, if in the Bible Jesus is telling us that there are ways for us to know about our enemy, like, wouldn't it just make more sense if we show God that we've learned through all of these years and examples from history, and that we understand His Word, and we continue to do more for ourselves, not in a selfish way, but in a community way. And I think the first step would be acknowledging that our racial differences are only a matter of environmental adaptation through our evolution. And honestly, if by this point in time there are people who continue to believe that evolution and God are two separate things, and they have God very misunderstood. And it's quite a shame. But anyway, so I've been taking Bible study, not because I was searching for a religion, because I continue to think of myself and to announce myself as a spiritual being. My religion consists of meditation and studying and furthering my knowledge, and representing God as best as I can. That's part of my religion. And church is me studying, and it's me going on hikes, and it's me going to the beach, and it's me recycling, and it's me spreading God's love, like I said. So I, been attending these Bible studies because I felt like, aside from the fact that I love history, I just felt like I talk about religion and spirituality and the difference between it so much that I should know, where the other person is coming from. I should better understand what it is that they're reading and being taught. And, I've been going for the past month or so, and I've been loving it. I've been loving it because the history is right on point, and it backs up my personal conversations with God, and the things that I, not my theories, but you can call them that. They're I think of these theories on my own, or at least I question God. I ask these precise questions, and then God delivers me the answer. And now that I'm in Bible study, it's like being backed up with what I'm reading. And so I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought a bilingual Bible because I want to reach out to Spanish-speaking religions and people. And it turned out being only Spanish, so I went back and I returned it, and I found this one instead, which I can see I was really excited. I made a golden heart. And this is, if you can see that, the Green Bible. This is so awesome. I felt like that's the reason why I had to go back and return it and go to a different one, because I would find this one. And I just want to read like the foreword by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. It says, "I would not know how to be human, how to think as a human being, how to walk as a human being, how to talk or how to eat as a human being, except by learning from other human beings. I learned to be human by associating with other human beings. We are thus, according to the Bible, made for family. We're made for community. We're made for togetherness. We're made for friendship. We're made to live in a delicate network of interdependence, for we are made for complementarity. I have gifts you don't have, and you have gifts that I don't have. Thus, we are made different so that we can know our need for one another. And this is a fundamental law of our being. All kinds of things go horribly wrong when we flout this law, when we don't ensure that God's children everywhere have a supply of clean water, a safe environment, a decent home, a full stomach. We could do that if we remembered that we are created to be members of one family, the human family, God's family. We must act now and wake up to our moral obligations. The poor and vulnerable are members of God's family and are the most severely affected by droughts, high temperatures, the flooding of coastal cities, and more severe and unpredictable weather events resulting from climate change. We, who should have been responsible stewards preserving our vulnerable, fragile planet home, have been wantonly wasteful throughout our reckless consumerism, devouring irreplaceable natural resources. We need to be accountable to God's family. Once we start living in a way that is people-friendly to all of God's family, we will also be environment-friendly. As you read the Green Bible, starting in Genesis, you will see that after God created birds, fish, and animals, he created humans to be his viceroys and to act compassionately and gently towards all forms of life. The future of our fragile, beautiful planet home is in our hands. As God's family, we are stewards of God's creation. We can be wantonly irresponsible, or we can be caring and compassionate. God says, I have set before you life and death. Choose life. At the center of Christian faith and the Bible is the cross. Jesus is described as our peace, the one who has broken down the wall of patrician. He says of his ascent to the cross, and I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself. As if in this cosmic embrace, Jesus would wish to enfold all that God has created, the entire universe, into unity. His supreme work is to reconcile us to God and to one another, and indeed to reconcile us to all of God's creation. It is possible to have a new kind of world, a world where there will be more compassion, more gentleness, more caring, more laughter, more joy for all of God's creation, because that is God's dream. And God says, help me, help me, help me realize my dream. Thank you. So, yeah, I hope some people take from this, and I'll be posting more often in regards to what I'm reading and how it's relevant to our lives and why it's important for each and one of us. And also I'm gonna try my very hardest to make it a weekly thing, I guess, and be more present in this vlogging world. Until then, I hope everybody's having a beautiful end of winter, and I hope everyone's spring comes off to a wonderful start. One love.